Okay, so let's start with the lighting and camera. Now, first let's put the camera, then we will know what exactly the lighting can do. Okay, now again, in camera you have two different types of camera in 3D Max. One, you have the standard camera. So basically you are controlling, of course, the lens, how wide, how short focal length you want him to be. That's it. The second one is the physical camera, which was actually with the V-Ray. Now it came to 3D Max. Okay, so this physical camera was before with the V-Ray. Now there is no more physical camera in V-Ray. It came to 3D Max. 3D Max bought it. Now, what is the difference between the standard and the physical? The physical camera is exactly like the DSLR cameras. Now in DSLR cameras, what all we focus, if you do manual settings, we will focus on these three things, right? Shutter speed, ISO, and aperture. So the same settings you have as well. You have aperture settings, you have shutter speed settings, and you have ISO settings. Okay, so even if you put a 40 watts bulb inside that room, 7 by 7 meters, you can use this camera settings to make it look more brighter. Yes. Crashed? Mm. The standard camera, then we will know about this shutter speed and stuff. So how you can do the camera is you have to mostly focus from either one side, maybe from here or from here, so that you can see the entire room. Now if you see this one, as you can see, it shows the cupboard half, the sofa, the door, the window, and other things, right? So somewhere it's a little bit diagonal. So go opposite to window. So click here on the cameras. Click on the cameras. So those are the three cameras available: physical, target, and free. Target and free come under standard cameras. Target means with the target, free means no target. Okay. Physical camera, like I said, like DSLR cameras. Fine. So click on the target camera. Click on the target camera. So I'm going to click somewhere here. Don't go outside the wall. Somewhere inside the room. Click. Don't leave the left click. Take the mouse close to the window like that. And escape twice to finish. Outside also. Doesn't matter. Hmm? It won't show in Revit. It immediately takes 3D, but it won't. This won't. Done. Once you place the camera, go to the perspective view. Go to the perspective view. Escape twice and go to the perspective view. What happened? Okay. So, 1 minute. Here. Go to the top view. Mm-hmm. Click on the camera. Click on the target. From inside the room, focus on the window like that. Escape twice to finish it. Even if you go outside the window, it's okay, no problem. Now go to the perspective view. Now to see your view from the camera, press C on your keyboard. Yeah. Okay. Now the camera is actually exactly on the ground. Okay. Press and hold the middle mouse button and slowly bring the mouse down so you can manually control how far you want him to be seen. Very slow. Don't go like that. Okay. Very slow. Press and hold the middle mouse button. Once you see the hand, move up and down only. Tilting from another place. That's it. Keep it like this. Which is not moving. Zoom in, zoom out will not work. Zoom in, zoom out will not work. Only panning will work. What happened? Don't forget about the zoom in, zoom out. Here. This is the camera view, right? See here it says camera. We will focus on this also. Done? Now, once you place the camera and set him how height you want him to be, now time to set the lens angle. Okay. Now reset it somewhere. Mm-hmm. Then you have to go to the top view, select the camera only, and move him. So it will move. And look at the camera view what is happening. Rotate the camera. Why? Now, if you select the camera from the top view, you are moving left and right. Right? When you select it from the front view, you will go up and down. Okay? When you move it from the left, again up and down. Okay. We need to buy from Samsung VR then. We don't have dome camera like in V-Ray. In V-Ray we have dome camera, which is 360 degree. Yeah. But we can increase the lens. We can give a fisheye lens for this camera. Fisheye lens means the wider lens. We can maximize one. Okay, to fix the lens, in the top view, select the camera. In the top view, select the camera. Only the camera, not the target. Huh? Just select the camera. Okay, go to the modify panel in the top view. What? Select the camera, go to the modify. Okay, so those are the different lenses available for you. Okay, so start from the wide angle lens, which is saying 15 mm lens. Click on him, you will see the wider look. 20 mm, 24 mm. So depends upon what lens you want, you can choose from here. Not coming? No. Don't click here on the line, okay? It will not come. Head of the camera. Click on the head. Yeah, it will look more stretched out. Head. Only the head. Okay, click outside. Click outside. Select again. 15 is too much, huh? Don't. You don't have it? It's not coming. Okay. Lenses. Top lenses. You have to click on the camera, not on the line. 15 mm. First click on the 15 mm. Okay. Now 15 mm looks more wide angle lens. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to control the lens value manually. Let's say 18 or maybe 18, 55, 17, 35, 18, 20, 40. Okay. Give 20. 20 will be fine. 20 will at least focus some of the elements. Or nah, 18 is fine. 1855. 18 is fine. At least I can see the cupboard and other things also. Little bit you can move him. Say again. I said 18. Yeah, they are depend on one another. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course FOV, but FOV has nothing to do with lenses. Okay, this is field of view. Okay, now the lens is what I am controlling on the camera itself. You can individually control the field of view also. Okay, now but I am focusing more on the lens, not on the field of view. Okay, so focus more on the lens. Field of view can be anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You cannot do it independently. I didn't. No, see. Normally, wait. Okay, so when I place a camera, right now, let's say I'm gonna give a 35 mm lens. As you can see, according to 35 mm, the field of view is 54.432. Okay, and I'm drawing the camera like that. Escape twice to finish it. Now when I go to the modify, I'm having the same lens, same FOV. Right? Now C on the keyboard for the camera view. So when I move the camera, still I should make sure my lens and FOV are the same. 35, 54.32. to maintain the same clarity. Now type 18, it should be 90. Up and down will not affect the FOV. This is FOV, the lens view. Done. Uh-huh. 15 mm lens and place it over there. Okay. Select the camera in the modify. Make sure the lens is 80. That's it. Now, next, what you will do is select the camera, go to the modify panel, make sure the lens is 18, FOV is 90. That's it. From the camera view. Yeah, it's something around a height of 425 millimeters. Normally it comes in the 1000. If a man is standing, what will be the height? Normal human height. And if he holds the camera in his hand like that, something 1750. That's the human height. Height 180. No need to be 180. Right now, think that a human is holding the camera, but he's kneeling down and shooting. So you have to check like that. You should not always focus the man is standing. No. If you do a walkthrough animation, yes, he cannot kneel and walk. Or selfie. This is also. Selfie, we go more than 1750. And we fall down somewhere from the mountain. Like that Hyderabadi guy who hit in the train. Oh. No, he was going to die. He was in the hospital. Many persons died also. There was one, I think, from Hyderabad guy only. He made such kind of selfie. And he did. It was looking like he died. He didn't die. After that, he posted another selfie, and he clarified, no, that is what he made it. Ah, okay. At least he's alive then. Okay. Now, second option will be our lighting. So the first lighting we're gonna do is the daylight system, which is gonna be the sun and sky. Okay, and remember we are using mental ray. Fine. So the sun and the sky should be also mental ray sun and mental ray sky. Another thing is, we had on the first class I said without indirect lights your rendering is not going to look good, right? So when you choose the rendering to mental ray in 3D Max, you have two indirect lights. They come inside the tab called global illumination. One of the indirect light is called as final gather. Another indirect light is called as photons. Okay. Now how exactly they work, let me show you. Desktop. Where is WE? Okay. Now, final gather works like this. rays sample the surrounding area and bring the brightness and color values back to the point. What is exactly saying, you see this camera view that you placed? From the camera, the final gather, which is the first one, will shoot number of points only here in this place. You see this wide angle that you have given? Only here, here and here, not here, not here. So from this, in this area, it's going to shoot number of points that you can decide whether you want 1 million, 4 million, 8 million, it's up to you. Now each point will emit how many rays, that also you can decide, 150, 300, 600, whatever it is. So those rays goes to the object, collects the brightness and color value and bring it back to the points. That's how the final gather works. Photon works like this. Photons carrying different values of energy and color bounce around the scene, which means the photon is actually coming from the light itself. Not camera. Final gather is from camera, photon is from light. So it comes from the light. This also you can decide whether you want 10,000 photons or 20,000 photons, how much you want. Bounces around the room to give you a color balance and energy. Now basically this is how it will look. See, from the light, this is how the photons come. Takes the color, falls on the ground. From here, bounces back. Now what color we got? Green and red? Orange. Now if you don't switch on the photons, you will not get a proper color balance. Same this one. See, the light is falling here. Because of the photon, I can see the color yellow on my ceiling. For example, see, this is how with the photon, this is with the photon and final gather. And if you look close, the color of the wood I am seeing little bit on my wall because of the photons. Now, a good example, this is only photon. You can see how the render is. Looks too much blotchy. See the red color bouncing here? Now, when you use only photons, the rendering will not be that much, proper or good. So you have to use both of them. See, actually the photon is bouncing the colors. The final gather is cleaning it up, smoothing out the photons. So if you use together, your rendering will be more faster. But if you use only final gather, the rendering will be very, very slow. Okay, so this is the reason you have to use the indirect final gather and photons. But when you switch on 3D Max Mental Ray, the final gather automatically gets switched on without asking you. But photons will be always off, which you have to switch it on. Okay, so let's do the lighting, then we will focus on the indirect light. So first, I'm keeping the top and the front view like little bit zoomed out so I can see it clearly. Focus on these two views only when you put the daylight. So click on the top view. Top and front. Keep it like zoomed out a little bit. Go to the create menu. Go to the create menu. Click on the systems. Click on the systems. Done? Now in the systems, click on the daylight. The sunlight comes only with sun. It doesn't have any sky. Daylight comes with the sun and the sky. Okay. So click. Yeah, it's okay. Click on the daylight. You will get a warning. Read the warning carefully. It says it is recommended that you use mental ray photographic exposure control. And the EV value, which is exposure value, set to 15. You are in design, right? It automatically sets. That also design that PC. Okay. So, and would you like to change what exactly it's saying? You know, in camera you have something called exposure value. Okay, when you go +1 +2 +3, what happens? It will become more and more brighter. When you go -1 -2 -3, you are getting more and more darker. Right now he is saying he is in the value of 15. For the sunlight, yes, it's okay, because sun is a huge light. So I will click yes. Then in the top view, press and hold the left click somewhere in the center of the room. Press and hold the left click in the center of the room. Slowly move the mouse towards the right side. You will see a compass appearing. No. Here. Press and hold the left click on the top view. Don't leave the left click. And slowly move the mouse until you see the compass getting bigger. Doesn't matter how bigger or smaller the compass is. Okay? Leave the click and take the mouse down. Look at the front view, the dome going up. That dome is the sun. Okay, so if you want to set it, just click. Yeah, the compass, the star is the compass. Leave the click and take the mouse down and look at the front view. Take the dome above the room and click to finish. You are creating Mr. Click, yes. Escape twice to finish it. Which one move? We cannot move. Just move the mouse down and click. Escape twice, yes. Yes. But we can control it later. We will control it. Finish? Stitching down. Control Z to undo. Okay, do it again. Click on the daylight. Press and hold the left click on the top view. Slowly move the mouse for the compass. Leave the left click and slowly move the mouse down. In the front, look at the dome going up. Above the ceiling, it's okay. It's a sun. It can go anywhere. Click to finish. Escape twice to finish. Halas, done. Now, once you've done that, in the front view, select the dome. Select the dome and go to the modify panel. Select the dome and go to the modify panel. Now, if you are in the 3ds Max design, you will see here MR Sun and MR Sky automatically. Okay. If you are in Classic, you have to change the standard to Mental Ray Sun, MR Sun, and the Skylight to MR Sky, and click yes. Mental Ray, huh? Mental Ray Sun and Mental Ray Sky, yes. Click yes. Yes. Done. Now go to the application, save, or Control S to save, because we don't know when it will crash. Chances are there. Fine. This, some are 8, some are 16. Because there are many other softwares also. Okay. Now what I want to do, I want my sun rays to come through the window. Okay. So go to the left view. Go to the left view. Select the sun, which is the dome. Select the sun. Then you see the position here, Make it manual. Make the position manual. Click here on the select and move him from the x-axis like that, and from the y-axis bring it down. Don't bring it more down, it will become night scene. Like half down, like this. Because that is the window, that is our window part. Good. Done. So now how exactly it will look, let me quickly show you. See, this is how it will look. Not night, evening. Crash. Okay. No. In 16 it's different. In 17 it's like this, high quality. And now this is in 17 you can set the quality and illumination and all those things. Standard will look like this. Nothing. That's it. That's more than enough. Change the position of the sun. That's it. From the left view. Escape twice. No need. Huh? You want to do that? It will crash. Sure. This is 32 GB RAM, so no problem. I can. Which one? This kind of work, you can do a test render quickly. Uh, you have to wait at least 1 hour, 2 hours to rendering to finish. Slower and faster. No, wait. Still have lots of things to do. Which one? The materials, and also we have to put one more light inside. Not inside, through the window. Okay. Now once you've done the sunlight, open it. Yeah. Now once you finish with placing the sunlight through the window, first what you will do is go to the rendering, and go to exposure control. Go to the rendering and go to exposure control. Now here you will see mental ray physical sky, as he said in the warning that he's going to add a physical sky in the environment, which means through the window you can see a blue sky. Okay, but if the camera exposure is more, instead of blue sky you will see like full white from the window. Okay, mental ray photographic exposure control, like he gave the warning, he said he will add a photographic exposure. It's fine. Now from the preset, choose. Did you put physical camera or a standard camera? Standard only. Exposure control. Okay, click on that and choose mental ray photographic exposure control. Okay, now from the preset, choose physically based lighting, indoor daylight. Physically based lighting, indoor daylight. Now this preset is helping us to set the EV value. Before it was 15, now it's 10. So according to the indoor daylight, what will be the value? He is doing it for us. For me, it is still 50. Physical based light, indoor daylight. Indoor, yeah. Okay. And close it. Indoor daylight and close it. Now we're gonna do first render without indirect light. Second render we will do it with indirect light to see the difference, what exactly it is. Okay, so go to the rendering and go to indirect illumination. Go to the rendering and choose indirect illumination. You see that final gather? Uncheck enable final gather, which means now there is no indirect light, no final gather, no photons. Photon is on the down. When you scroll down, you will see photons. Photon mapping is the photons. It's already unchecked. It's not always checked. Close it. You open the indirect illumination and you will uncheck the final gather. Ah. Sun. Oh, okay, 1 minute. As it is a test render, first all W, maximize your camera view. Now, what you see right now is not the one you're going to see on the render. Okay, if you want to know what you will be seeing on the render, press Shift F on your keyboard to set the save frame. Press Shift F on your keyboard for the save frame. Save frame. So this is what you will be seeing on the final output.
Okay, if we need to get more furniture, everything, we can cut the wall and camera little bit back.
If you cut the wall, the sunlight will come from the empty space. Okay, but you can widen the angle lens. That you can do. You can make it as wide as you want, so you can see all around the room.
Actually, it's concentrating on the last end only. I need to get little bit back because the photo is giving more detail. Your photo.
This one, this,
Which you given.
this one. Yeah, it's because, like I said, you can select the camera. Okay, you can make the lens bigger, wider, so you can focus on all the room. Select the camera, go to the modify panel and change the lens value. 18, yeah. If you want, make it more lesser, 15 also, 17 also, no problem. The wider the angle, you can see lots of objects. Let me bring this guy here. Okay. Now, maximize the camera view, Shift F on your keyboard. Shift F on your keyboard. Okay, now go to the rendering, go to render setup, go to the common tab, go to the common tab, go to the rendering, render setup, go to the common tab. You see here output size, go to the lowest you can, which is 320 by 240. Lowest you can, 320 by 240. Here, the resolution. 320 240.
Height.
There is no height. Width and height, both of them 320 by 240. So whenever you do the test render, always go for the lowest resolution, just to save your time. Okay. No changes anything on that aperture or image aspect. Leave him standard. No need anything.
It's like professional camera.
No, we're just changing the resolution. Done? 320 240. Save him. First save. Yeah, first save. Here, application, save. Yeah. This one also, yes. When you render, maybe Dhamal, it will explode, right? So, click on the render. Click on the render.
How can I increase the size of the window?
Size of what?
The window, whenever I want to stretch it out, it's not the render screen is small.
This one. Because we choose that resolution 320 by 240. Very bright.
Maybe you put sun inside the window.
Inside the room. Inside. Sorry, this is cute. And you have to come across it.
Last 3 days, same knowledge base one. And it's still like it's only when there's we need to bring food.
I agree with you. Whatever we need is there for people.
Your cheese is very
Maybe I
Your thing is hidden. Your ceiling is hidden. Now you will see that.
This one is
From wherever the empty space is. Did you save it already? Okay? Very bright. It's because your top is open. Roof is open. The roof is open.
What's happening?
like the turn.
this one.
Yeah.
You can see over there. It's good.
Yeah, it's nice. Good design.
Yeah.
Good design, man.
So you can buy it.
You're also nice. Oh, what is your sound? It's not coming from. No. Open the pages.
Start
No,
to
no,
set
it's
my
pages.
see a view. What much is it?
Bedroom should have some
Big this
shirt
out
here.
the
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but there should be no comment. It should be there. But food that's pizza.
You don't have much
See
item,
the
but
sun
all
here.
of the tables there should be a
It should be look like
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you make rendering.
But the sofa is clean.
Need to set up. Yeah.
Close this.
Choose first. Choose the optima.
You have like Oh, yeah, view.
Sun, choose the time.
So now you are working, you are in a urban land. So what is the difference? That's not the software.
Nothing.
So we will do again with you now.
I know.
The link, what you choose?
Right
Setup, enter setup.
Of course. This is not
And then we make
slide perfect.
You could go in this video.
take command. Okay.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, but still. You have this training.
Only
The extra level
I want like we go for software stuff. Yeah, so then like you go for not just maybe in the future outside. You are more back and I pick up PC, Apple, Mac
okay, now you do it.
What is the break?
two operating systems, Windows and Mac. Then it will get in the Windows you have to Mac is
But
very
you learn in the end.
important for Photoshop and
We can start.
professional.
Yeah.
Of course.
Nice color.
For us, this is just like okay,
Yeah, operational.
if someone is knowing, I can understand what he did.
All them things. Just for
You need two sofas. After two sofas.
But if I learn this will be
One here, one here.
copied them.
Yeah. I could be enough to.
Then change your orientation.
Huh?
You change rotation.
Yeah. It's a family course. I made from top view.
See the lighthouse. Sun. The image of Indonesia.
I think you want to make it more than moisturizer. See, mine is now not on. Mine, I can see it from the window.
These reviews.
No, no, you make that page, this page, you make this page, this page.
shift down here. Okay, very good. No need. நல்லா இருக்குங்க யாரோ கோயில் So actually I have to increase the trade with, so I have to increase this price. I think
Yeah. Yeah. But
no, I have here this I don't have like
I like it. This is our first cartoon, right?
Okay. Now, if you see, the room will be very, very dark. One, not dark, a little bit light coming, the sun rays. Second, too much grain. Don't worry about the grain. It's because you see this image precision, quality, and noise. If you make this high or medium, you can get a good proper render, a smooth. But if you make it high, you have to wait here one more month in the class to the render to finish. So don't do that. Keep it low. But that grainy you can remove from here. Okay. But if you see close to this object, too much dark here, the light is not properly bouncing. It's because there is no indirect light. So to fix the indirect light, go to the rendering. No need to save it. Go to the rendering.
Now we can close that.
Mm.
Or minimize.
Minimize also fine. Close it, doesn't matter. Go to the rendering. Indirect elimination. Indirect elimination. Go to the rendering. Indirect elimination. Come down until you see the option called photon mapping. Enable him. So this is the first indirect light we are switching on. Photon mapping. Just enable, no need to do any settings. Remember, right now, the sunlight which we have is going to emit 20,000 photons.
Now it close that.
Close this one. Don't render now. Close this one. Go to the rendering, indirect illumination. Enable the photon mapping. That's it. Okay. Look here. It's saying average GI. GI means global illumination. Photon per light is going to make 20,000. So from the sunlight, it's going to come 20,000. But off. Yeah. But don't render now, because go to the left view. Select the dome. Dome, the sun. So normally the sun means 360 degrees. So the light comes from everywhere. If it is 360 degree, what happens? The photon will also go 360 degree. We are wasting all of them. So you have to say the sun, the photon should be coming only through the window. So select the sun and look for MR sun photons. In the modify panel, look for MR sun photons.
Radius.
Use photon target. Check use photon target. And give the radius. Let's say we will start with around 600 is fine. The rays is 600 is more than enough. So now the photon will come only through the radius. But the sunlight is 360 degree, don't worry. But the photons is only coming through that radius.
Photons, that means that point.
Not points, the circle. The color bleeding one. Done? Okay.
Points coming in there.
Points we didn't switch on yet. We have to switch it on. Later we will do. Now go to the camera view. First save it. Then the keyboard shortcut to render, Shift Q on your keyboard to render it. Shift Q. You switched on the caustic. You didn't switch on the photon mapping. Caustics is for something else. Cancel. Go to the rendering. Indirect elimination.
Rendering site where
Same rendering size.
rendering
No, you want to render it, right? Shift Q.
No, rendering setup. I changed that one 340.
320 by 240 before process. Where is that one?
That one is in the common tab.
Where is that?
No, there is none.
Crash? Fixed? Okay. Loose edge. Save பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Okay, fine.
Okay, 320 to 40.
320 240, click on the render.
Control Q.
Shift Q.
F9 is
F9 also same. So 2 shortcuts. Don't
It
crash.
has a weird settings for the wall.
Say again.
Like it has a weird tint for the wall. Like it's dark a bit something.
even
When I use this text,
even before you have it then.
like it gives a texture for the
Yeah,
wall.
it gives that bounce is happening, right? The wood bounce.
Yeah.
You're rendering the.
If I make big, it will over.
Shift Q.
You are more like to solid down.
Oh, set up.
So same
What is sign this?
So the small dialog box which is below the render, no, we can adjust anything and then we can try for render. But it takes time, so
You mean this 4 sliders?
Precision, glossy.
Yeah, if you make everything high, the rendering will be amazingly awesome. But yes, we have to
We
wait.
need to wait.
I like that. Get
We'll do this and we go home tomorrow. You can come and check.
No, you have to go home, get married, make kids, then come back. Then it will render.
Then why they given this option?
Now, companies
Maybe
they have
their inventor is trying
they have
to-
big render machines. They keep it on -degrees. It's render like that. That's it. In a second, full high render. In a second, 1 second, it will render. Even see if you have an Autodesk ID, there is an option here called where is that? Render in cloud. You see this button? I think in 16 it's there or not. I don't know. But render in cloud, what happens? You are sending the rendering to Autodesk. In 5 minutes, they will send you whatever the high it is.
You have to sign in.
You have to sign it. Yes.
Student version also we have ID.
Yeah, you can use that. 3-4 renders you can do. Yeah, free. It's then you have to start buying credits. Money.
How the big designers are doing that? Is there any special facility they are?
Yeah, render machines. They have render machines.
So what is that? It will transform from here to the.
They are when they say render, they render with using that rendering machine.
So yeah.
It's like a render farm.
It's like a render farm, yeah. So they have one huge room only for that rendering machine. They send it to network, it shows the render.
No, we can send the big file to Autodesk.
You can
3-4 times free.
3-4 times free. Then after that you have to buy credits, or you have another company which is very cheap than Autodesk, which is called Render Farm. You can even send to this people, which is called this one, Rebirth Render Farm. They will do the rendering for you, just 2.3 cents. You can buy for $13 free trial, so you can render whatever the rendering you want. So,
Per KB.
huh?
Per KB or per one picture?
For gigahertz, how much per gigahertz? Or spend some money.
This is enough.
It's enough, yeah. So when you download it, it automatically goes inside the Autodesk 3D Max. So when you click render, you will not click on this render. You will click render in Rebirth Farm. So it goes to their server. They give you the image gallery.
Better than
Buying a machine.
buying a machine.
What are those boxes? Enable red channel, enable green channel.
Where?
The render box.
You mean, wait, this one?
Yeah, those things. The dialog box.
This one.
Uh,
You will see red, green, blue. There is red, green, blue, right?
the effects.
If you don't want red, remove the red. If you don't want blue, green. If you don't want the alpha itself, this is alpha. This is monochrome.
And in the area to render also, view, region, like that is there, no? Those things.
View means whatever you are seeing right now in the camera view, you can render it.
View. Okay.
But normally,
Region.
region, for example, let's say you are making the image quality high and you want to know what difference you have. So you can make a region and you can say, please render only this part. So next time when you click render, so let's say I'm going to make it medium.
So this is like you explained that time the high poly, low poly.
You can render only that part.
I don't want to see, so I keep it
hidden. Only render that particular part. See the difference?
like it's like a window. Okay. So a particular area where you want to go. That
Yeah,
area is-
that area will be only rendered. Okay, did you see the difference after switching on the photons? You have enough light? Renderer. You have enough light, plus you have a little bit of wood material bouncing in the room, here and there. Okay, now still, this area is making some issue. And the light is too much. As you can see, the sun looks like too much burnt out. Okay, so let's control this. Go to the rendering. Go to the rendering.
So now in this stage, if I change the material, okay, or
You can change anytime the material. Go to the rendering and exposure control. Go to the rendering and exposure control. You see the exposure value saying 10? Make it 12. Make it 12. Not bright, dark. When you slowly come down, you have an option called highlights, and in the bracket it says burn. Okay, this is the highlight controlling only the burned value. So the sun was looking burnt out, right? So I'm going to reduce the burn value to 0.05. Don't say 0.5. Burn. When the sun looks more burnt out, you will reduce the burn. At least the sun doesn't look like, too much. When it falls on the wood, it will look soft. Burnt means more bright, plus, it looks summer sun, 50-60 degree sun.
so the value is high, it will look more hard.
More hard, more brighten up. It's not going to affect the entire room, but where it falls, you will not even see the material, the wood. That's the reason.
When it reduces, the reflections will get reduced. Huh?
Reflections will get reduced. Kelvin is fine. Okay, close it. Now, another thing. You see the white point which is saying 6500 near to Kelvin? Okay. Now, there is something called as Kelvin chart. I don't know who is that Kelvin. This is Kelvin chart. Let me show. This is Kelvin chart. So right now we are into something called 6500. Something close to white and blue. Now if you want the sun to be little bit warm, look inside your room, you can go around that value which is 3000, 3200 or 4000. Okay, if you want it to be more blue, like cool white, evening shot, you can go more than 6500.
Okay.
So here,
Explore query.
this one,
So if I reduce this,
it will become warm.
wow,
Warm. If you increase, cool.
It's Chinese.
You don't want warm, huh?
8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, like that.
Like that feeling. Yeah.
No, if I decrease it, it's becoming bluish.
Which one?
If I decrease, it becomes bluish.
It will become blue.
And the current level will be
Now, if you decrease, it will become warm, not blue.
that chart is showing.
Yes, sir, under preview also is trying to check in that by reducing the value. And it's showing dark.
Don't change it as, leave it 6500.
So maybe saving the render file. I'm trying to save the render.
Mm.
It's asking save as type. Showing
JPEG or PNG.
No, it is 30,000, 40,000. The more you go, it's going to which one? The less you should go.
3200 is the warm.
No, 3,000.
3200. Give 3200. Perfect warm.
how much you want to put in that?
No, nothing. Pure white. I want it to be Kelvin white. No blue, no warm, no cool. Exactly on the center.
Okay, so if I go for 2000, it's blue.
I will say why.
Now how much I need to go? 6500?
6500, yes.
Yeah, but that chart was showing opposite.
Now we want
So we need to render again.
No, wait. Once you change the exposure, go to the rendering menu, indirect elimination. Now enable the final gather. Now right now the setting of the final gather is set to draft. Look at that FG point density here. Take the mouse near to that arrow key. It says determines the density of final gather points shot from the camera. This is dependent on the image resolution, so you may need to reduce it when rendering extremely large images, as your memory requirements for strong FG points will increase. The second one determines the number of rays per FG points initially projected from the camera. The higher it is, the less noise or variance you will get. So he is saying he will reduce that grainy effect. The third one over here, interpolate or blur several FG points together to smooth out the results, reduces noisy effects. So you have to control these three values to get a better render. But the first one is mostly depending upon the resolution which we choose, 320 by 280, okay, 240. So I'm going to give a value of 0.3.
If I can't change anything.
You cannot change, you have to check it. Rays, I'm going to say 150. So each point is going to emit 150 rays. 50, I'm going to smoothen out the interpolate FG points. Save it before doing the render and click render. FG point 0.3. FG point. Final gather.
After that, we can press
Render.
render.
Save it before render.
No, but here I have to put 150. Back 150. Then it's okay. Press it. Now it's looking nice.
Now it's looking nice. Good.
Yeah, the light is, but for him is still No, the lights not coming from window. But sun is not coming from the lights not coming from
Coming? Ah, okay.
But why you a little bit dark and mine is dense light and it's looking nice.
The project,
Yours dark.
the projector.
Oh, that's why. Ah, yes.
The projector, don't see the projector. I think the brightness of the projector.
This camera is very good. Master's can do master.
Now the
Okay.
that's okay. So, okay, that's nice.
Okay,
The screen for you is nice.
it's fine. Okay, done. Now you will see the. It's still rendering or it's finished? It's finished, right? Going on? Okay, fine. Going on, huh? Yeah. When you make everything high, keep a fire extinguisher ready. Okay. Say.
Normally, these kind of animation companies, they are giving to these people to.
No. They have their own machines. If they give the other this companies, they will know what they are doing.
How you did last time? This selected region will know.
View region and choose the region where you want and render.
I'm doing it is not working.
Not working?
It is saying select valid object.
Eh?
You must have valid object selected.
No, yeah, but view മാറ്റി വെക്കണ്ട. Left front side ഏതാ
Yes. No cut off.
Is printed very nice.
Yeah, I like
Living room is better than
nice, but
my
what about yours?
my one because PC is not able to this is clarity get the smallest one and that
What you are doing, sir? You want to move it?
Shifting.
Shift.
Okay. According to the render, what happened here, as you can see, it's little bit darker, little bit, and others are fine. So what I'm going to do, only one setting. Go to the rendering, exposure control. Just make the exposure value to 11.5. We are increasing little bit brightness.
We are working based on the photo.
Based on the no.
Now I'm seeing something black, so I'm making it
White, yes.
so it means it's not realistic.
Not realistic means?
In the real scenario, the same may not be there.
No. We are working, think, for example, if you take a picture of someone and say, no, it's very dark. Then you control the value and take. That's what we are taking photo.
0.5. How much? 11.5.
11.5.
From 12,
11.5. If you go more, it will become more brighter. So middle. Now go to the rendering, render setup. Go to the common tab. Change the output size to HDTV video.
Output setup, what?
Rendering.
Render setup. Go to the common.
Common, okay.
Change it to HDTV video. That's actually the highest resolution. Click here on the custom. Choose HDTV video.
Common.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the width to 1080, height to 720. Can I make it custom? Just make it 1080. Huh?
From increasing there.
Just make it 1080. That's fine. Yeah.
When the strip will work,
But automatic.
Yeah, it's okay. 608 is fine.
Okay.
1920 1080. Okay, fine. No problem. Done? Just 1080 width. That's more than enough. 1920 and 720. Okay, fine. That's fine. Go.
608.
Yeah, it's fine. Width is 1080. Height it automatically changes. Go to the application menu. Save. And Bismillah. Let's see. Mine will crash for sure.
Anyone will trust. But
Yeah.
Sir, I just want
Hmm. Wait.